Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube where I talk about books, books that I'm reading, books that I'm working on myself. I am BB Morgan, Beatrice B. Morgan. I write fantasy, mostly romantic fantasy. There's a little bit of gaslight fantasy, and I've also recently started dabbling in horror. But that book's not out yet, and it might never be. And this week, my update's not really, it's not a big update, but it is an update. So I did something this past weekend that I have never done before. I went to a book event, like actually a book event where like there was like tables and authors and like people came in to talk to these authors about their books. And it was very weird because I don't enjoy that type of thing. I am very introverted. I don't like talking to people. I have spent the last 10 years of my author career avoiding talking to people about my books because it always felt really weird. Like, and I guess because I was talking to someone at this event, or the second event, I did a smaller event during the week. I was talking to someone who I actually went to college with and just talking about my books and my writing. And I don't remember what comment he said, but that it made me, yeah, I had like the spiraling effect of the thoughts and how I have spent so long thinking about my books as if they are a secret. Like I chose a pen name so people wouldn't find me. And I think it comes back to this weird idea that like I have to keep this all a secret because I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about it. I'm like, why do I treat it this way? Why do I have this weird notion that I have to keep my books a secret? And I think it comes back to my days when I was writing fan fiction, and I kept that a secret. No one knew about that. I refused to tell my friend that I wrote fan fiction or even what my name was, what it was about, what fandom it was in. No, I wouldn't tell anybody. No one knew about it because I think a part of me was a little ashamed, and I should not feel that way. I should not have felt that way, and you shouldn't feel that way either if you are in that same boat. But I also grew up in kind of this rural community that didn't really read. Reading wasn't something that was cool, and fanfiction would have definitely not been on the cool things to do list, the list of cool things. I would definitely have been made fun of. So I kept it a secret. It was between me and the internet, and it was just fine. But I think that mentality followed me as I'm writing my own books and putting them out there. And I have recently, like when I say recently, I mean like within the past year, kind of gotten away from that, and I am able to like talk to people about my books. Like I started this vlog. That has helped a little bit, like just having like this moment where I have to sit and reflect and like talk about like things that I'm doing in my career and start thinking about it as a career, not just something I'm doing on the sly, that nobody knows about. That was just an interesting little tangent that I didn't anticipate going on, but I also got to talk about not just my books, but my experience, like being an author, and why my next book will most likely be, like my romantic horror, if it ever comes about, will most likely be self published because I've had so many negative interactions with the traditional publishing space, and not necessarily with specifically like authors who've gone traditionally published or like agents or editors, but just mostly within all of my experience attempting to do like the traditional path. There had just been so many things that I just don't like. And that I really think is a video for an entirely different session because I ranted. I didn't rant. It wasn't really a rant. I was more just talking about like my books and how they're published through a small press and how I've tried to do the traditional thing and it doesn't really work out. And there's just so many little roadblocks and obstacles and gatekeepers that don't necessarily have my best interest at heart. They're more how much money can we make? I mean, it's a business, blah blah blah. Anyway, that's a different video. And I'm sure there have been plenty of other people who have also talked about that side of publishing, but I just had that kind of soul searching connection moment. I also sold several books. Like I also bought several books, but I think I came out on top. And I got to meet local authors, which was cool. It was really cool because again, I've spent so long like pretending this is like a secret identity that no one knows about. and I haven't spoken to other authors outside of like social media or online forums, and to be able to actually like look at someone and like start talking about like the publishing model that my author co-op group has, and they're just like, oh wow, really? And like they get what I'm saying, and it's not just something like talking to like somebody on like a date and they're like, oh okay, like they are trying to be interested but they don't really get it. And it's just really cool to actually talk to other authors and make those connections. And I would really like to do more events like this, but unfortunately, I live in like the middle of nowhere. Even this event, I think, was about 45 minutes away from me. And I know there are plenty of like events in like the bigger cities like St. Louis or Chicago, but I went to this event by myself. I don't have a cohort to go with me. I don't have a spouse to go with me. And I am too anxiety ridden to go to Chicago by myself. It's not going to happen. Like even St. Louis, like I don't feel comfortable going by myself. And that's not because like I don't like the city or it's dangerous. I mean it is, but it's not like I don't want to go by myself. Like if I had like a team of authors, like local authors, we could all go together. We could all just hop in a van and go. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on that part. For writing update, I am working on book 4. I have made some significant progress in book 4. I have not touched book 5. I've thought about it, haven't touched it, because I think I have almost burnt myself out because I have been working so hard on book 4. Like, I've been working on weeknights. I have been working anytime I have like an opportunity, I will open it and do a chapter, or I'll do half a chapter or a scene, because I am at that point in the ending where the ending has changed. And I have taken the original ending of book 4 and it is now the third act of book 5. So I am reworking the ending of book 4 into the new ending, and I have a couple chapters left, but it's the couple of chapters that are really going to change the most. And I have not been in the mindset to get in there and like rough draft, because it will be a rough draft of these new chapters. And I felt earlier this week, I opened it. It might have been Tuesday or Wednesday, but I opened the draft of book 4 and I was staring at it and I realized that I didn't really want to work on it because my brain wasn't really working, and I just had this moment of, what am I doing? What am I doing to myself? I don't write during the week. I have set the rule for myself, okay? It's been a year ago and I've talked about this a few times, but I set the rule for myself that I could not write. Sorry, I'm tapping the thing that my microphone is sitting on, but that I could not write during the week because I needed to read during the week because I was writing so much and I wasn't reading enough to like counterbalance. And I have not been reading as much, or when I was really working on book 4, I was not reading like I should have. And so I closed the document and I was like, what am I doing? I need to like not burn myself out, because that's kind of the feeling that I was getting, that I was working so hard and pushing myself to get book 4 done that I was reaching that burnout phase. And so I have not worked on it. I have not opened it. I have tried not to think about it so that I can finish it tomorrow, because I have nothing to do this weekend. I have a wide open schedule. I have a very light grading to do. My taxes are also due, but it's not a tremendous task. It's just annoying and time consuming and tedious. But I have saved it all for this weekend, and my goal this weekend, writing wise, is to finish book 4. I want to get this draft of book 4 done. I was worried that I wouldn't like this draft, that I was like making a mistake by like chopping it into 2 books, but I have not had that feeling at all during this draft. I feel so much better about book 4 now that I know that I have enough room in book 5 to really explore like the ideas and themes that I was rushing right over. I don't know if I'm going to jump right into book 5 or if I'm going to cleanse my palette with another project. Like I still have my that romantic horror, that contemporary romantic horror that I've been working on, and I have reached the point in that draft where things are changing and I just have to be in the mood for a contemporary story. Like I can read contemporary, but again, like when I read it even, I have to be in the mood for contemporary. And I just haven't been in that mood. And I really have to be in the mood to write contemporary, because this is really the first contemporary story that I've tried to write, aside from like fan fiction a really long time ago. Eons ago, world was new. Because fantasy has just always been what has called me. But this story in particular, it just has not left me alone. No one else has looked at it. No one else has gotten to like any idea of what it's about. So I would like to finish this draft and maybe find an editor, do a couple more, like another revision or two, and just kind of see what needs to be done with it. Because I would like to finish it and get it off my desk, get it out of here. So that's my writing update for this week. It's very hopeful and it's not like complicated at all. Like I know that I can finish book 4 this weekend. Like that is within my skill set as an author. Like I know I can do it because it's not like 50,000 words. No, it's like 2 or 3 chapters I have to write. I just have to wrap up the book. And this is really just the rough draft of this new ending, the new Act 3 for book 4. So my plan is, how my writing process goes is I will do this new revision of book 4, let it sit for a little bit just so I can kind of just put some distance between me and it. And again, I don't know if I'm going to jump into book 5 or if I'm going to jump into that romantic horror or if I'm going to jump into a different project entirely. That happens sometimes. But I would like to jump into the romantic horror because it is set in spring and it's spring right now. So I was like, maybe, I can get like some spring vibes. But I will let you know if it absolutely falls apart. If I don't even touch book 4, I just jump right into a different book entirely. That has happened before. For a reading update, I am now on book 3 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Was not anticipating enjoying this series. Absolutely not even nearly as much as I am. It's so stinking charming. Like, it's got that millennial gamer humor to it, but it's also just very readable. Like I can sit down and like before bed, like I'll read for 10 minutes, and then an hour has gone by. Like, oh no. Like I have read too long, like 3 nights in a row, thanks to Dungeon Crawler Carl. I highly recommend that series. It's very enjoyable. I've started reading several other things. Like I started a new audiobook. Too Old for This is what the title is, and it's this older woman. She's retired. She's like a retired serial killer and she like kills somebody in the first chapter. And then the rest that I've listened to, at least the next 20% of the book, is her trying to like cover it up. It's actually very like endearing. It's not like thriller suspense, but it's really charming. I'm enjoying it so far, like more than I thought I would. And of course, I went into it without really any expectations. I have found that the books that I enjoy the most are the books that I went into not knowing anything about them. I went in with zero expectation. And that might be why, like, I enjoyed ACOTAR so much, because I read that book years ago, before I think book talk was even a thing, before TikTok was a thing. Maybe, I don't know when TikTok started. And I found it in the library, didn't even know it was part of a series. I had just read a couple of the Throne of Glass books and I really enjoyed that series. I'm like, oh, this author has another book out. I'm gonna read this one. Didn't know anything about it, had no expectations whatsoever, so I went into it and thoroughly enjoyed myself. I absolutely enjoyed that series. I started reading several other things. Like there was a gothic romance fantasy that I'm about, I think, 15% in, and I'm really not feeling it. Like I've got into it like 3 times now, like read like a page or two and was just like it's not vibing with me with what I want right now. Silver Cloak. I started reading Silver Cloak, and there was one review on Goodreads that described this book as queer Harry Potter but with mafia. And if that doesn't sell you the book, I don't know what will. I think I'm on chapter 3 and I'm enjoying it. It's good so far. But that's my reading update and that was my writer update. That is all I have for you this week. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you want to stick around to see where this blog goes, to see what happens with book 4, what happens with book 5, if that contemporary horror ever comes out, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to not subscribe. It's fine. It's not going to bother me. This is not my livelihood. I do this for fun. But stick around if you want to. Of course, it's your choice. I will be here, regardless of how many views my videos get. I feel like this is a really nice way to like keep me accountable to like I have to report in with what I've done this week. But thank you so much for joining me on this little writer vlog. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you find a new book, a new author that you absolutely adore. I really need to find something like snappy and classy to say at the end of these, and I don't. I really don't. I don't have anything. I tried to do the thing where it was like, I hope the next book you find is a 5-star read, but I don't know. It's just that is a mouthful. So goodbye.